Just searching Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury loses it in an interview with YouTuber True Geordie and foul-mouthed rant. To be fair, it wasn't that foul-mouthed. I thought he was alright. I've been called worse by most of you lot, probably. I thought I'd do a little reaction because there's been so much shit said about it. And to be honest with you, easy money, innit? You just double up on the content. Some of us aren't afraid to admit when they're getting a bit of an easy payday. Just saying. Tyson, if you're watching, some of this video may trigger you, so just put the phone down if you know how. All right, first thing, as you can see here, bold by choice. I want to get that out the way because some of you lot, Baldy, Tyson included, pot kettle black, by the way. I don't know if he was just sort of jealous I took his look from him and did it better than him. Is there jealousy there, do you think? I think there might have been just a little bit. If you didn't want to punch us before, you're definitely going to want to punch us at the end of this, Tyson. But on the plus side, that might be a fight you can actually sell. Oh, sorry. Genuinely, at this stage, there'd be more people who'd want to see me against Fury, and by the way, not interested, than Chisora against Fury. That's ironic, right? So you've all seen the video, but just to quickly recap, my main 2 points are as follows. Derek Chisora is a warrior. There was never any dispute of that from me, even though Tyson tried to make it out like I was trying to do him down. I get why he picked that argument. It's an easy position to take in that moment. Ultimately, I view Derek Chisora as like the BMF of boxing. In MMA, UFC, we have the BMF title, which is like for the guy who will have a war with anyone, not a man you want to meet in a dark alley. You know, a dangerous character who gives it his all every single time. And that is Derek Chisora through and through. But unfortunately, when you have a lot of wars, you know, you become worn out. And that is precisely what's happened to Derek. And I do think that they need to manage him carefully. And one way to do that would be, how about don't put him in there with the most dangerous heavyweight in the world right now? Just a thought. Secondly, that this does feel like a bit of a payday, jobs for the boys scenario, and one that the great British public should not be charged pay-per-view prices for a fight that we know is not competitive in the least. We've seen that because Tyson virtually had to wave it off himself last time, and the pair of them were basically getting booed for multiple rounds at the end. That wasn't a contest then, and that was when Derek had a lot more fight in him than what he does right now. A couple of points that Tyson made in his arguments with me. One was he doesn't care about legacy. But I beg to differ, obviously. I think the fact that he was named after Mike Tyson shows that legacy has been drilled into him from day one. You know, he's all about legacy. He talks about being the greatest of all time a lot. He has studied the greats. He often references them. And again, he tripped himself up multiple times by saying it's not about legacy, but then the reason why he's doing it is to make history. Well, I mean, those two things are exactly the same. And it's all about him having 2 trilogies at heavyweight, which turns out he thought he was the first. Many people have corrected him that he wouldn't be the first. It's like me going, am I better than Joe Rogan and Ricky Gervais at podcasting? Absolutely. But I don't care about legacy. All right. But just to be clear, I am the GOAT. Tyson then sort of refutes that this is an easy payday for his mate, an easy money for him, that, you know, he's a fighting man and it isn't about that for him. But then why have you on your 3rd autobiography when you've only had one life, you know? Why do all those speaking tours? Why are you now advertising life insurance? And I may well need that. It would be ironic that Tyson Fury's life insurance pays out after he kills me. I've got no problem with Tyson making that money. I love to see a young man who's come from nothing make that money. But then don't just tell us that you're not about that when you're clearly charging the public for a non-competitive fight and you're having to bamboozle yourself to make sense of it all. And none of it makes sense. That's why there's been such an overwhelming support for the videos, because people are just sick and tired of this, and no one's ever said it to him. He then said he wasn't in the same era as Usyk and Joyce, but he was in the same era as AJ when AJ turned pro at the same time as Usyk. Joyce is older than him. Like, just mental gymnastics gone wrong again. Then he was saying, you know, there was a deadline for AJ, but not for Chisora because Chisora's got balls and all of that. And It just, the whole thing, it was very hard to go along with. And I personally, and I know some of you might disagree, I don't think Fury actually pulled out. I think Fury became very difficult to work with. But I think actually AJ's side may have been the ones to just pull the plug. But either way, he just makes dealing with him in a business sense very difficult. And as the fans, we want to make this fight happen. We want to see this fight happen. And it's fucking frustrating. And like, why does it have to be December 3rd? You're calling the shots to make a fight that no one wants to see. And you're hiding behind your self-imposed deadlines as the reason those fights have to happen. And why we're not getting better opponents when you made those deadlines yourself, and then you're going to charge us a fortune for it. So yeah, none of it sounded good, did it? So as the interview was going on and I could feel him getting more frustrated, I didn't let that shake me, because I thought there's things that need to be said right now, and I'm going to be as respectful as I can be. And luckily a lot of you out there recognize the amount of respect I paid Tyson and still say what needs to be said. But ultimately, this guy does not respect me, and he thinks I'm beneath him. It's who the hell are you to tell me what I need to be doing? Ego is an amazing thing when it comes to becoming heavyweight champion of the world. You want to prove to everyone that you're better than everyone else, and you go and do it, and then you get to say, haha, I told you so. It must feel fucking amazing, right? But when it comes to then having that same ego and having a chat with a fan who merely questions your decisions, it's problematic, because Tyson puts himself across as a man of the people. But as you've seen in that interview, you can't be a man of the people and then not be answerable to those same people who pay your wages and buy all of your products, and think that they don't deserve any explanation at all. Well, if you don't want it, don't buy it then. That's just not the attitude of someone who's a man of the people. And like he said, who am I? I am not on Derek Chisora's level. I am not Tyson Fury. I'm nobody compared to him, and he clearly thought that. Then why is it bothering you so much? Why are you getting so triggered if what I'm saying is a load of shit? I think we all know. And when he was hurling all of those insults at me, as someone who I've genuinely looked up to before, but I know how he is at times in terms of he contradicts himself a lot, right? Everyone who's watched a Fury interview seen that happen. He literally says, good man, and then says, you ball tosser, within seconds. And that's why I start laughing, because I'm like, this is vintage Tyson. Like, I've never seen, but even quicker to contradict himself. Like, well, I was a good man a second ago. What the fuck just happened? Imagine I turned round when he was in the middle of calling us bald and just went, I have got cancer, so thanks. I don't have cancer, just to be clear. I'm perfectly fine, touch wood. I thought I found a lump the other day. Turned out I've just got massive balls. So, yeah. There was actually a few people who thought I was deliberately trying to wind him up just because I wasn't backing down. I'm like, mate, I worked offshore, 12-hour shifts every fucking day. All we did was piss each other off, right? I've got a black belt in pissing people off. I'm from Newcastle. I've got my 7th fucking Dan in pissing people off. Ask anyone who knows me, I can be the most annoying prick you'll ever meet. This was me being as respectful as I could. Just to prove, I've even got Fury's books. I think he's got another one coming out here if you want to buy it. But yeah, I've now look at them. I've turned him into Ronnie Pickering.
Do you know who I am?
Do I care?
Ronnie Pickering.
I don't want someone to get backlash off an interview with me, but equally, I think it was earned. This is something that's been in the post for him, and because he let that come out, people were like, no, we're not having this. You have to behave. You're the world champion. We love you. We look up to you. We demand better, and we demand better than Derek Chisora. And I was simply trying to hold him to that standard of the greatest fighter of this generation when putting those questions to him, because I want to see the best out of him. I don't want, however many fights he's got left, one of them to be wasted on a fight that's easy. We want to see him tested. We want to see him show the true giant of a man that he is in the inside, in his heart. We want to see that come out. And I do think he really needs to learn how to take a normal bit of criticism. What I did was so normal. How many people has he got around him who are just sucking him off to a degree where the least bit of challenging and he loses his temper like that? Like, that is a prime example of who you've got around you. And when you're the guy with all the money, everyone loves, how hard is it going to be for him to walk away from all of that? I think all of this chat about retirement is a load of rubbish. I think he will be fighting as long as possible because he loves the limelight. He loves the money. He loves, and also the demons that he has, which are, I share a few of them myself, to be fair, and it's not easy. You've got to find things to occupy you. So I think part of the reason he's actually taking this Chisora fight, one of the reasons I actually excuse him for, is I just think he wants a fucking fight to keep him out of trouble. And he is a boxing genius. It's just that sometimes with people who I've interviewed who are geniuses in a field, they lose sight of the fact that you're a genius at that one thing, but that doesn't give you the right to treat everyone a certain way just because they haven't achieved what you have in that one field. And being a big man, he's probably used to people being scared and intimidated of him. I do want to thank the boxing fans who actually supported that video heavily, because I think a lot of them had wanted to hear what I said to him, put to him for a long time. And finally someone did it, was basically the overall sentiment. There was a couple of people who had an attitude who were like, also in the boxing circles online, I think, saying like, who's this guy I think he is? He's not a good interviewer. He's not a boxer. He's not a boxing journalist. Who does he think he is? People said that I opened up the questioning wrong, which therefore pissed Tyson Fury off and led to a bad interview. Putting it on me is quite embarrassing when you can suggest that me simply asking a question about KSI or Conor Benn could then trigger Tyson Fury to a point where he'd be that angry, when you can see from the minute go, he ain't in a good frame of mind. Anyone with an ounce of relations in their life to other people will be able to fucking say that. But nevertheless, let's take it on for what it is. No to KSI, you shouldn't be bringing him up. Well, KSI has the record on DAZN this year for highest selling pay-per-view. He is involved in a major storyline right now with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury was scheduled to fight Jake Paul, who was at that press conference on stage with Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury. He is involved in this, whether you like it or not. And Tyson Fury has often commented on that whole situation. There is millions of clips of him talking about Logan, Jake, KSI, all of that. There's loads of the clips out there. So to say he's refused to talk about it before is bullshit. He himself has actually lined up fights before for crossover boxing, or whatever you want to call it, with Thor Bjornsson and Francis Ngannou. So to say that this is nothing to do with him, all right, is he going to fight KSI? No. But to just chastise me for merely bringing the guy up, what a load of shit. Get off his dick, you fucking sackless soft pricks. Then to comment on the fact that I brought Conor Benn up when it's the biggest news story of the fucking year in boxing. And he himself has had his own issues with PED discrepancies, shall we say. So, yeah, he ain't in the same weight class, but to say Conor Benn is none of Tyson Fury's business, like, all right, is he going to fight him again? No. But would the people be interested to hear his thoughts on it? Absolutely. What is my job? To find that out. You fucking morons. Honestly. All of this is just to justify Tyson's behavior. Ultimately, part of those little digs that I received were people who had probably been showing up, you know what I mean? Who felt a bit, this guy's just jumped on the scene and boom, put it on him immediately. How many hours have I had with him? Well, you know why? When you lot say I'm not qualified to fucking interview Tyson Fury? Well, let me tell you some names. Ricky Gervais, Louis Theroux, Russell Brand, Jordan Peterson. These are the names that I fuck with. These are people who come to my fucking house and have actual sit-down interviews with me. I ain't running around chasing them while they're doing other shit. These are heavyweight intellectuals that I interview. So with all due respect, because I love fighters and they're the most entertaining people on the planet to me, but these guys don't get punched in the head for a living. These are very smart people. So for you to insinuate when I interview that caliber that I haven't got what it takes to interview Tyson Fury, you're a fucking moron. You really are. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, you're a fucking moron. These guys come for my audience, to access my audience that I've built over years of interviewing fascinating people, all kinds of sports stars, all kinds of celebrities. And that experience that I've had has enabled me in 5 minutes with Tyson Fury, or wherever the fuck it was, to get more out of them than a lot of these people criticizing me have gotten in the last 5 to 10 fucking years. So you're embarrassing yourself. You're like, honestly, I just literally stop. Just know you've picked the wrong one. Leave it at that. All right? Good. But True Geordie, they know more about boxing than you do. Well, that might be true, but you know what? You don't have to know shit about boxing to know Chisora and Fury should not be fighting again. Telling me I'm on a wind-up just because I didn't take his first answer. That's journalism. How am I having to explain this to fucking people who do this for a living, some of these people criticising me? That is journalism. Taking someone's first answer, okay then, that's what you do when A, you're a coward, or B, you're getting paid by the guy who's doing the interview, or you're scared to fucking not get another interview again. And actually, I have a level of empathy for that. But don't fucking come at me just because I've got the balls to do it and I've worked hard to get in a position where it doesn't fucking matter if I never speak to Tyson Fury again in a day of my life. That's why I laughed, because I couldn't give a fuck. And I know it's not fair. And I know they probably are a bit miffed that, oh, you got the fucking viral clip and we've been hanging around it for God knows how long. But you got too close. Journalists, you're too pally with them and you need to keep that distance between them so that you can ask those questions. And that's the problem in a lot of these circumstances. And also Tyson's reaction shows why they don't, because they will be banned. And it isn't fair. But don't blame me. I am in love with this sport, you know, and that's why I could talk confidently with Tyson Fury, despite never achieving anything in it. And look, how many of us have achieved anything out of it? It doesn't mean that we're not entitled to a fucking opinion, especially as paying customers. So in terms of my relationship with you lot, I'm always going to try and give you the best interviews I can. And it won't be perfect all the time. And people will now be looking at me to try and shoot me down because I've stuck up for myself. Yeah, but that is the journey for integrity. You will make mistakes. I will not get it right every time, but I'm going to keep fucking trying. And I hope you appreciate that, because I do appreciate the level of support you have given me. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks to all of you lot. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers.